We live in a painfully divided world. Social events happen and people develop very strong opinions about them, and that finds its way into the workplace. People develop the habit of being very dug into specific points of view, into specific beliefs, and that finds its way into the workplace. People in the world around us very often consider it almost a badge of honor to not be able to or not make the effort to understand other points of view. And that comes into the workplace, making it very, very difficult to create win-win solutions. So maybe it's not entirely surprising that as of July 2025, 100,000 people quit their jobs a day. And this level of attrition is deeply problematic for a lot of reasons. The reasons why the people gave why they left their jobs, the number three reason, couldn't get along with my boss. The number two reason, didn't agree with the management team. The number one reason why people left their jobs in droves in July, toxic work environment. And when they asked leaders of organizations, why are people leaving their jobs? Only 1 in 7, about 15%, said toxic work environments. In other words, people are leaving because of toxic work environments, but that's not what they're telling their managers, which is understandable. They don't want to burn the bridge. They don't want to walk out saying, I left here because it's a toxic work environment. So what that means for those who lead nonprofit organizations is even more pronounced, because every single precious donor dollar has experienced an enormous amount of effort to raise, to acquire. And when people leave, when we have an attrition event, it means that precious donor dollars have to be reallocated to recruitment, to training, to reacclimation of people into that role. So what if we had the ability to create the kind of work culture that people love being part of, that they really, really don't want to leave, where there's camaraderie and caring and happiness and engagement among the people who work together? This is possible because if you think about the three core reasons why people leave organizations, can't get along with a manager, don't agree with leadership, toxic work environment, they're all fundamentally relationship issues, which means that what's going wrong in the workplace is people have different understandings of what it means to have a healthy relationship. If you came from a boisterous home that's where people are talking over each other all the time, or people are very quiet and reserved, or people are laughing all the time and pranking all the time. If you come from different kinds of environments, you have a different understanding of what healthy is in a relationship. And when we get to the workplace, these different understandings of what healthy means clash with one another. And we just don't have the tools to be able to help people navigate those differences. So that's where we step in. What we've done is created a definition of a healthy relationship that allows us to unify the people in our organizations under a common definition. The definition that we've developed is scalable. Perhaps that is its most important feature. It's scalable across regions. If you have a multinational corporation, it's scalable across the globe. And perhaps most importantly, it's scalable across personality types, across age, across communication styles. So why is it such a big deal to have a common definition of healthy? What it means is that as a leader, you can assess the organization and say, where do I have instances where the relationships are going really well and people are getting along great with each other and they love the culture? And where do we have instances where things are not going so great and people are struggling with relationships? Because every time that happens, it is a potential attrition event. So we can assess the organization by understanding how are we doing in terms of our relationships. By having a common definition of healthy, we can build a culture that's relationship smart. We can give people the tools to diagnose where did the relationship go wrong. Was it a trust issue that broke? Was it a feedback issue? Was it a collusion issue where people were colluding with one another, creating factions and cliques, and it ended up harming various members of the team? Like, we know how to diagnose the relationships, and because it's part of the culture, we know how to have the conversations necessary to heal those relationships. We know how to have the trust conversation. We know how to have the feedback conversation. We know how to have the accountability conversation. And because it's in the culture, it's expected that we're going to do that. What this results in is a culture of caring, because you only have those kinds of conversations with people you care enough about to have them with. But Because we've embedded it into the culture, we have been able to help people have those tough conversations skillfully so that those tough conversations don't damage the relationship. Quite the opposite, they strengthen the relationship. So having a relationship smart organization delivers so many benefits. It allows us to understand where there are potential attrition events happening. It allows people to diagnose what went wrong in the relationship and how to fix it. And it allows a culture that becomes so good at relationships that people want to be part of it because you're better at relationships at 5 o'clock than you were at 9 o'clock if you're part of this particular culture. So I could talk about this all day. I would really love it if we could have a further conversation and talk about whether or not creating a relationship smart culture makes sense for your organization. So click the link below, schedule some time, and let's have a talk.